This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, I want to talk about Stop It. LeBron James ain't no GOAT. This is part 4. Here's the thing, man. The man is not the GOAT. He will never be the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Yeah, he's a GOAT, all right. Yeah, he is the GOAT. Matter of fact, no, I'll take that back. LeBron James is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all trolls. I'm going to say that again. He's the greatest of all trolls. This man truly and properly showed us stuff that I already knew. Is just now open and put out there for the masses that this cat is insecure, man. He has insecurities. Because I've never known anyone to come out and attest to their own greatness and be self-proclaimed, you know, quote unquote, that is with that nonsense. How you going to say you the greatest of all time? I knew I was the greatest of all time when I won in 2016 against the Golden State Warriors. That's nonsense, man. That's heresy, you know. And like Stephen A would be saying, that's asinine, asa 10, asa 11, asa 12 at the highest levels. This guy, he's, you know, all he does is speak rubbish. You know, and his fans, his stands, his apologists will come out and they will excuse this. I've been seeing it, man. Everybody talking about, well, Jordan was 1 for 9, you know, before Pippen showed up and and Jordan, you know, he was losing to Larry and Magic and all of that. These people don't know dilly squat about basketball. They show me every time when they run their mouths, they don't know nothing about basketball. Now, people want to sit here and use the argument, well, yeah, LeBron has a point. He brought his first title to Cleveland after 52 years. What was Chicago before MJ? Does that dawn on people? I mean, do people use common sense? What was Chicago before MJ? What were they? Weren't they a team that nobody was paying attention to? And this man single-handedly, because of his greatness, not only did he mold Scottie Pippen and brought Scottie Pippen to the levels, because people want to sit here and talk about Pippen. Pippen was a good player within his own right when he came out of Arkansas, but Pippen was not the player that we see until he got under MJ's tutelage. MJ molded that cat, man, and made that game to that level to where he could have someone that could stand next to him. Someone that could be able to do the things that he needs to do on the basketball court. The only thing Pippen had and was always his was his defense. But everything else that was part of Pippen's game, hey, go watch it, man. It was very identical to Mike. You could see that Pippen was a student of the game, and he sat there and said, hey, Mike, look, you the greatest, man. So, hey, I'm going to train with you, man. I'm going to get my game to the level that you are, because I have athleticism, but I don't have that full repertoire that you have. I don't have, you know, the abilities that you have. Pippen had the work ethic, too. I'm going to give Pippen credit for that. You know, he had the ability to go out there and work. And that's the thing with this Rudy Poo generation. They don't understand work ethic and stuff of that nature. That's another time, another story, another topic. But Pippen had that. Jordan molded him, though. Jordan brought his game out, man, offensively, and made him the weapon that he was. So that's the reason why Jordan's greatness gets all the credit that it has, because it is him that did all of that, you know. Outside of Phil Jackson, that brought obviously the triangle that took it to the next level. So Phil Jackson gets his credit well within his own right. But MJ did everything that he was responsible for as a leader. This man was 6 for 6 in the NBA Finals. Never let it go to Game 7. 6 Finals MVPs. He's 100% NBA Finals. When people make this argument and say, well, Bill Russell had 11 titles. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, he had 6 finals just like MJ too. But here's the problem. These guys lost in the NBA Finals. MJ never lost in the NBA Finals. He doesn't know what losing is at that level. This is why people call him the greatest of all time, because game recognizes game. Real recognizes real. You got to call a spade, man. And when it's all said and done, the reason why MJ gets the title of greatest of all time by acclamation, and we're talking about the greatest players of all times, the Magic Johnsons of the world, the Larry Birds of the world, you know, all of these great players, you know, Isaiah Thomas, before he started speaking sideways out of his mouth because of the hatred, this pew hatred that he had for MJ. Pippen, recent time when Pippen was talking slide to the mouth, almost was sacrilegious, couldn't possibly return to Chicago if he didn't get his mind together. Jordan probably done checked him. You know, he started speaking right on the right tune. And I've seen lately Isaiah Thomas is now speaking on the right tune. You know why? Because they all peeved, man. You know, they all understand there's levels to this stuff. You don't sit here and say you the GOAT. Well, we know there's guys that's done it at a higher level than you when we know that there's guys that's done it better than you? I mean, come on. This is a guy that's 100%. You know, and how did he leapfrog Kobe? Kobe is 73% NBA Finals average. How did he leapfrog Tim Duncan? Tim Duncan is down there almost 90%. I mean, how did he leapfrog these guys? I just don't understand that. This is what I don't understand. Like, how? In the pantheon of greatness, LeBron James is to the levels of a Jerry West and a Wilt Chamberlain. These guys have gone to a lot of finals appearances, but they've won less than what the appearances that they've been to. They're great within their own right. You know, I look at LeBron James to me more like a Wilt Chamberlain. They're great within their own right because Wilt Chamberlain was considered the specimen of his time, the physical stature of his time. But he lost, man, to Bill Russell a lot. You know, and his finals averages were atrocious. Same thing with Jerry West. Jerry West's finals average was atrocious. And it's the same thing for LeBron. This man's not even 50%. To be on the pantheon of greatness, you know, we're talking about upper echelon. We're not talking about just pantheon of greatness, which LeBron belongs. LeBron is a great player. I have not said that he is not. But don't sit here and try to say that he is the GOAT. Stop the presses. Because when you have a 33% NBA Finals average and you're 3 for 9, which is the true fraction, all this 3 for 6 crap, it's like people haven't gone to grade school, man. When you're 3 for 9, which is what people should be saying, 33% that you've averaged in the NBA Finals, I'm sorry, man. You can't be the GOAT in my book having that kind of average in the NBA Finals. There's no two ways around it. Because in the upper echelon, you got to be 50% or better. And you got to have 4 finals champions. You have to have 4 NBA Finals championships. And you have to have at least 4 NBA Finals MVPs in my upper echelon book. There's just no two ways around it. LeBron don't have neither of those. So how are we going to sit here and say he's the GOAT? Come on, man. You're going to put him, leapfrog him above Magic Johnson, leapfrog him above Shaquille O'Neal, leapfrog him above Tim Duncan, leapfrog him above MJ, leapfrog him above Magic Johnson, leapfrog him above Larry Bird. Get out of here with that nonsense, man. All these guys got one thing in common. They all are 50% or better in NBA Finals average. This is something LeBron doesn't know. He's allergic to this stuff. He doesn't know it. But he sat there and let the Nick Wrights and the Shannon Sharps of the world get in his head and made him think that he's more than what he truly is. This guy's been feeling himself a little too much. You know, and that's why now he's starting to say things that obviously he's starting to backtrack now. Because he has to realize he needs to come down to earth. You're not everything that you think you are, dude. You need to sit it down, relax, take a chill pill. You know, now even people that were your ardent supporters and things of that nature, now they starting to backtrack because they realize what I've been telling you guys about this guy when I've been exposing this guy from the time he got into the league. I told you something about this guy didn't smell right to me, man. Something in that LeBron water didn't make sense. And I wasn't drinking that damn water. But everybody else that drank it, look at them. Always find an excuse for this cat. It just shows you how Rudy Poo this generation is, man, in their basketball knowledge. They don't know nothing about basketball. They don't know shit about basketball, but then they want to sit there and run their mouths and act like they know something. You know, it's nonsensical. You can't talk to LeBron James fans because they don't get it. And every time LeBron loses, like when he loses this year, they're going to say, well, you know, he's the greatest of all time because he said that, you know, after he beat the 73-9 team in Golden State. So really, the LA move was really about, you know, him, you know, going to LA, you know, so that he can just work on his business. Watch, they're going to find something to say about this cat. And they're going to find something to create some kind of stupid new narrative, some kind of stupid new excuse. But they won't accept the fact that this guy keeps losing, man, in the NBA Finals. And he keeps losing. And he's a quitter. He's quit so many times. How can a guy like that be the greatest of all time in your book? You know what I'm saying? If you guys got anything to say, comment below. You know what I'm saying? Like my channel, subscribe, you know, share this video with others. If you are like-minded and you feel that, you know, hey, there needs to be someone that needs to call this stuff out for what it is. This is He Knows His Sport. Checking out.